Check, check. How about now? Can you hear me now? Can you all hear me now? Choo doo doo doo. Is that yeah? Okay, cool. All right. One of my apps that's connected to the microphone just decided to stop working. So let me go ahead and start from the beginning. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Fish and Friends with Danny and Gina. I'm Danny, and Gina's going to be a little late. That's what happens when you are the assistant manager to a pet store. Sometimes people leave and you end up having to cover for it and things like that. So one of the managers had to leave early, and so she ended up having to close the store tonight. So she will be joining us probably in about an hour. But until then, you get me. So woohoo. But here we go. Hoping it's going to be a good episode. Already had a big issue with the sound, but everything should be working now. Yeah. So, I finally got the ignition on my car. Got everything working with that. So, I had to drop it off super early today so that the locksmith had plenty of time to put the ignition in and get everything keyed right. And I thought I was going to end up having like multiple keys and all that. But here I am also thinking, well, wait a minute, it's a locksmith. Why can't they put it in one key? And, sure enough, they actually did. So I don't have to have multiple keys. I was thinking I might have to have, one key to unlock the doors and another key for the ignition. And no, he was able to get it to work all just right, all good to go. So I finally have a car with all the pieces and everything's all set up. So now I just need to, when I'm off next week, I'm going to go at some point next week and pay all the sales tax and get it licensed and all that. I have until May 12th, but I'm going to do it on like the 1st or the 2nd or whatever, just so I, am safe and all that. And I'm going to be off 3 days next week. I was originally going to take the entire week off, but we're a little short-staffed right now. One of my coworkers, his apartment burnt down, so he's dealing with that right now, and so that really sucks. But hey, we got Garcia Aquatics here. We got Big Tank Hank, the Nano Aquarium guy, Silver Creek Wildlife. What up? Good to see you guys. I spent the day since I dropped off the car early this morning at the dealership to get the work done. I had my mom pick me up and take me back to her house, and so I kind of spent half of my day with my parents, which was nice. It's always good to hang out with the folks. I'm fortunate enough to have parents that are still married, and it's kind of funny. I mean, they kind of talk about each other behind their backs and whatever else, but they still make it work. And but I was hanging out with my mom and my dad, and then my mom wanted to go to this this nursery to get some plants, and so I went with her, and I ended up getting some stuff too. And I'll probably get into that here in a little bit, but even though that's right where my mind went to, is that I want to talk about some other stuff first before I get straight into what I bought, because I've done a couple different shopping things over the week. But man, so I forgot to talk about it last Saturday, but there was one day we had a big storm last week, and the power went out in my house. It like went out for like 1 second, or like it went out for like 5 seconds at like 5 a.m. and then came back on, and then like 30 seconds later or whatever, it went back off again for like maybe a minute, and then came back on. And so I was able to go back to sleep before I had to get up to go to work. But when I was actually leaving for work at like 7 a.m. or so, there was a whole bunch of cops out, and lines were down and all that stuff. And so while I was at work, they knocked the power out for another couple hours while they were doing all the work on all the lines and everything. And so luckily I was able to come home at some point and take like a break here and make sure all my fish tanks were working and all that stuff, which everything came back working just fine. You know, I got hang on the back filters on like all my tanks now, pretty much, except like one that's running on sponge filter. And yeah, so they're doing all right. What's up, James B and FishFam.link? Good to see everybody. But yeah, all my tanks are working fine. But I got the ceiling fan out in my living room, and it's always been kind of a fun, interesting ceiling fan. It's really old, but it was probably one of the first ceiling fans that had this remote. It's got this remote that does all the buttons to do all the functions of the ceiling fan. You can go forwards or like, you know, clockwise rotation. You can switch it to reverse to counterclockwise rotation. You can go, you know, high, low, medium, and you can turn the light on and off. And when you hold the light button, the light like dims on and off. It's really, really cool. But a couple months ago, the remote just kind of stopped working. And so I thought, oh, okay, maybe the battery died. So I unscrewed the back and took it apart and saw it was just one of those like watch battery types, the little like disc quarter size batteries. And so I got another one and tried to put that in, and the remote just still didn't work. So I guess the remote just completely lost functionality now, which is like, it's an old school remote. It's probably mid 90s to early thousands technology. And so the thing is, without that remote, I can't do anything with the ceiling fan. So right now I just have a hunk of a ceiling fan just sitting in my ceiling that's doing nothing except collecting dust. I can't turn the light on or off. I can't make it blow or anything. So I'm going to have to get a new ceiling fan, because sitting out in my living room, I'm just so used to, like, I got a ceiling fan in like every room in this house, which is fantastic. The only room that doesn't have a ceiling fan is the third bedroom, which is just right on the other side of the wall over here. And that room just has a little light fixture, but I use that just as a storage room because I don't have a basement in my house, which I'm totally fine with. But hi all, at work with Gina. Well, get to work, Sabrina. Oh man. I feel like I was going somewhere with something, but now I forgot. Oh well. Hmm. Eh. So next week, since I'm taking Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday off, and those are the days that I plan to like really hardcore be working on my pond and my garden. So I'm really hoping that we have some good weather. I do think that apparently it's supposed to rain next weekend. So hopefully early in the week it's good and nice. And, I get Wednesday and Thursday at least to do some good solid work. And if it rains on Friday, well, that's okay. I'd rather at least push it off until Saturday, or at least from even better Sunday, so that I have plenty of time to get as much work done as possible, and then have the rain to come in and have everything settle in all nice. Danny, I've turned all the ice cream into butt and thighs. Please bring more ice cream Monday. Thank you very much. Well, okay. I sure will. And let me tell you, Diane, we got some brand new flavors coming out. And I've been checking into some of these things. I know we have these organic and vegan strawberry fruit bars that are coming out, which are going to be pretty cool. And some new sherbets and different stuff. So I'm not sure. I don't think there's any GMOs in that stuff as well. But I will definitely let you know when I see you on Monday. But yeah, I was originally going to take the entire week off, but like I was kind of saying earlier, we're a little short staffed. We've got some people that are just out because like one guy had his apartment burned down and some different stuff. But so, and also I started the year with negative vacation days because last year they kind of were working through some stuff, weren't sure what they were going to do for the Christmas holiday yet. And then they just decided that they were going to give us the entire week off between Christmas and New Year's because of the way that the days were. Like both days fell on like Sunday this year or this past year. So they gave us the entire week off, which was awesome. But, they allowed us to use our vacation days to get paid. But if we didn't have enough vacation days, they did say we could use, we could go into the negative into the next year and get paid for the entire week. And I wanted to for sure get paid for the entire week. And I think I only had like 3 days saved up by that time, maybe. So, yep, I only had 2 days saved up. So I'm taking 3 days off and I'm only getting paid for, I'm taking 3 days off and I'm working 2 days and I'm going to get paid for 4 days that week. But on that note, I got a raise that starts this Monday as well. So I'm really excited for that. My daily base pay went up by $20. So that means my weekly pay went up $100, which is awesome. Plus all these different commission incentives that they've put on us and new customer bonuses and upsell bonuses. So, yeah, I'm in sales. I'm that guy that pushes for upsells and whatever else. But, hey, it's how I make my money, and it's also how everybody makes money. So, yay, Sherbet, no R. Yeah, Sherbert. Sherbet. I don't know. I tend to say like Sherbert or Sherbert. Yeah, I guess I say Sherbert. I don't know. But there's people that say Sherbet and sorbet. Yeah, sorbet. That's a good one. They should shut down over Christmas. Yeah, it was nice. 1 R, not 2. But the lady that was telling us about it, like in this recording, thing that's one of our product specialists or whatever for the company kept saying sherbet. And I was like, no. Like every time she said sherbet, my mind was just like, no, it's not how you say it. I'm fine with sherbet and sherbet and sorbet, because like sorbet was like the traditional original way of saying it because it's like French or Italian or something like that. But no sherbet. No. That's a negative. I cannot deal with that one. Vision Tactics, what's up? Did you remember to hit like and subscribe? I hope you did. But if you didn't, be sure to. If you're chatting, you're definitely subscribed. But be sure to hit that like button because that sends out a notification to those people that aren't watching so that they can remember to, hey, I need to watch this thing because it's awesome. You know? Yeah. So I've taken my succulents outside. I'm moving so many plants outside. It's nice. I'm loving spring. I haven't been able to like really do a whole lot of work in my yard. I've been doing some little things here. I've just mainly been collecting plants and all that stuff. And so, after dark, bringing back in. Nope, I don't do that. Let them go through all the thunderstorm and everything. They're fine. They're outside. I do have one succulent that's right here that's trying to get sun, and a couple seeds I'm trying to start underneath the light. But that one's getting a little leggy. In fact, I'm going to grab it so you can see what I mean. So yeah, it's getting a little leggy. It's got a lot of dead leaves, some aerial roots that are starting to grow. I've already repotted this one once. It originally started as one single stem, and then I trimmed it and repotted that into something else. And then it kept growing and split off a whole bunch of new heads. And so all these new heads, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These 6 heads that are in here came from that one plant. And then now they're getting all super leggy again. So some of these are kind of smaller than the others. There's 2 really nice big heads. Here we go. There's 2 really nice big heads. There's the one that was really, really nice. This is the original head of the first plant. It's staying nice and small, which is nice. But it's pretty. I think it's a peacock or a peacock eye, Echeveria peacock eye. But yep, I need to cut off the heads. I'm going to cut them off. Let's see if you can see. Yeah, you can. So there's these little aerial roots right here that kind of growing from underneath some of the leaves. So I'm going to cut off underneath where the roots have started to grow, pull off any of the dead leaves, and basically bury it there. And then with succulents, when you do that, you don't want to water them right away. You want to kind of plant it first in like the kind of semi-moist, dry soil, the soil that you get like in the bag. Like you don't want to add any extra moisture, but it's kind of has a little bit of moisture in there already, unless you like leave the bag wide open. and you let it get intentionally super dry. But you just want to put it in that dirt or whatever and just let it kind of sit for a week, maybe 2 weeks before you water it, so that it gets a chance to settle in that way, because succulents have a chance of molding really fast, whereas like other plants, and when you like replant them and stuff like that, it's like water it in. You don't do that with succulents, at least definitely not when you're like topping them like that. If you're just repotting it, just taking the whole succulent out and putting it in a bigger pot, then you can water it in, but I wouldn't even suggest watering it in that way. You want to kind of put it in and let it kind of settle a little bit, and maybe give it a day or two, or even up to 1 week before you water it into the new pot as well. But even so, I don't recommend watering them more than one time a week. Even that, I don't water my succulents that much, because I tend to be the person that thinks of everything else like, oh, plants need water and all that. So I struggled with cacti when I first started growing them, whereas a lot of other people, they're like, you can't grow a plant, buy yourself a cactus. It's virtually indestructible, and you don't even have to water it. And so it's because of that, you don't even have to water it thing that the people say or whatever, that I struggled with cacti and aloe and stuff like that at first, because I saw a plant that was struggling, and so I was just like, okay, a plant that's struggling, give it water, give it fertilizer, things like that. And it was struggling because I was watering it too much, and I was giving it root rot. And some hold it in their leaves, some in their roots. Yep. Yeah, like aloe is all that water in the juicy leaves. Even though, they're not really leaves. And that's why leaves. But speaking of all these plants and stuff, like I was saying earlier, when I dropped the car off to get the ignition put in, my mom wanted to go to a nursery over near her house, asked if I wanted to go with her. And it's like, well, what else am I doing except sitting at your house waiting for my car to get done? So yeah, I'd love to go and look at plants. So let's go ahead and get into it. So yeah, this nursery was really cool. I can't remember. It's like Hankies or Headkeys or something like that. And it was really, really nice. I've driven past it several times, but I never ever stopped there. And so my mom took me up there, and at first I thought it was like really small. Oh, look at that. I got a note about another purchase I made. So it was really nice. Just kept going. They had so many different plants and varieties, stuff that wasn't at the other places I was looking at. Because I tend to go all the way out to White Hop greenhouses out in Baldwin when I like to go and buy my plants. And this place is a lot closer than Baldwin is, but they had a lot of stuff to choose from. And one of the things that I got was this Black Jewel Nasturtium, or I'm not exactly sure. I think that's how you say it, Nasturtium. but really nice. So the leaves and the flowers, the buds or whatever, are both edible. Apparently, they kind of got a little bit of like a bitter sort of taste to them. I'm not sure if I'm going to actually eat them or not, but these are also kind of good to kind of keep some different pests and stuff away. So I wanted to get some of these because also look at that really just nice, deep, dark red, like reddish black color. Really, really nice dark color. Um, these are the ones I got, not these other ones. But so these are really nice. And I also got some lavender. Now I got two different types of lavender. The first one I got was this Edelweiss lavender, which actually has white little flower towers versus purple. And so I was really excited to see that. And the first one I saw though was actually this right here, the phenomenal lavender, which is kind of more your standard lavender or whatever, the purpley, bluey colored flowers. But apparently, at phenomenal lavender winterizes really, really well. And so I'm going to put that in a more permanent spot where I for sure am going to expect lavender to come back every year, which is going to be nice. I really like lavender. I'm hoping that Edelweiss lavender comes back too, but I know for sure this will come back. If I got other stuff coming back, this stuff will come back for sure. And then Gina's on the way. Nice. And then I also found a red currant bush. They had blueberries and other stuff, and they even had gooseberries, which I already have a gooseberry bush. But yeah, a red lake currant bush. And so I'm really excited to get a whole bunch of bundles of red currants and make jams and freaking syrups. That's probably about the size of my bush right now, this one. So that's probably what I can expect to get later this June, July or so. There's already some berries on there. And so I'm pretty excited for that. I was really hoping that they would have black currants, but hey, red currants I can do with that. And I'm not sure if there's going to be any sort of issue with my gooseberries and my red currants being kind of close together, but I did intentionally plant them close together. I haven't looked up anything. If I end up with some sort of weird hybrid between the two in like fruit flavor or something, then I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I'm just really I wanted to get as much fruit and berries and stuff that I can get that are going to come back every year and just keep getting more like bigger and more abundant. And I kind of am going to create this walkway. I kind of have it in my mind now of how I'm going to turn my backyard into like a miniature like homestead. And I've been working on it for a while, but I'm really starting to see this whole picture like coming together of where like the walkway is going to be from like my back door, from like the little porch area, like through the pond, where the pond's going to be on the left side and the garden's going to be on the right side. And then after you get past the pond, that's where you get the gooseberry bush and some elderberries and the red currants. And then you just keep walking, and then all of a sudden the blackberries are on your right side, and you keep walking around, and then you got the raspberries and all this other stuff. And then I am already have this area in mind where I'm gonna be putting the chicken coop and the chicken run, because I really do plan on getting bantam chickens down the road, but I gotta finish my pond first. Which another thing that I bought related to the pond, because Gina gave me the brilliant idea to go to the thrift store. I stopped at Goodwill, and well, Tundra's my cat Tundra's laying on half of them, but I got a whole stack of like blankets and towels, and I'm not gonna mess up the stack where Tundra's laying, but she's. I mean, grab the camera. She's just laying on some of the blankets right there, but make sure that's exactly right. Oop, too high. There we go. But I got a whole bunch of blankets to line underneath the actual liner of the pond, just to add an extra barrier between the dirt and the roots and whatever else to the pond, to kind of give a little bit of extra cushion, kind of smooth some of that stuff out. And yeah, sure, probably 10, 15 years down the road, all that stuff is going to be, deteriorated and, gone. But it's going to take a little while, and I'll probably be out of the house by that time. I don't necessarily stand to plan to stay here forever, but I am also preparing in case I do end up staying here for forever. So I got that. Shady Grady, what's up? Singing Moles, how you doing? KJE Aquatics is here. Trying to make sure I'm not missing anybody. Yep, make sure you drive safely there, Gina. So yeah, I have been making progress on the pond. But here's kind of the what's up, Ian Atkins Nature Aquariums. So here I have like good news and bad news. The good news is I got the check for my old car, and there's that. And I did go ahead and deposit it because it is what it is. I got the check at the beginning of the week, and it was, it was all right, but I had just had the engine replaced in the car, and before it got totaled, it had less than 10,000 miles on that engine, and I thought I had given them all the necessary paperwork for the engine, but basically they were saying that there wasn't enough information in the paperwork. The paperwork wasn't like an actual receipt for the engine or anything like that, so they couldn't properly value the engine to give me any like additional value. So more or less, I feel like I got shorted by like $2,000 or $3,000. I tried to call the dealership where I bought my car, and I had the warranty work and the engine replaced done and all that stuff. I called them on like Tuesday. I called in like early afternoon. And there was nobody that answered the phone in the service center, so I left a message and just kind of quickly explained a little bit as to what was going on and asked them to call me back. See if I could get any more paperwork or information about it. There is. What the? There we go. There's like a little like cobweb or whatever going in front of the camera. Not valuing it. So yeah, they couldn't value the engine. Yeah, I feel like I got shorted. So I called the dealership, left a message, figured maybe they'd call me back in a couple hours. And then I didn't get a call that day. So I thought, well, maybe I called a little too late in the day and the service center closed already for some reason. Sometimes service centers start really early and close early afternoon too. I don't know. But then a few days had passed. And so finally, yesterday I called the dealership again. And this time I finally got through to an operator, and I kind of just said, quickly explain what was going on. And she said, well, you need to talk to the service center. Let me go ahead and transfer you. So I ended up being transferred to the same number that I called on Tuesday. And once again, nobody answered. So I left a message again. But after talking to my mom and dad about the whole thing today, I just decided that I'm going to let the insurance company win this stupid game of back and forth, and I'm going to go ahead and deposit the check. So I did it through mobile deposit. It says it's currently held for review. We'll see if it actually goes through or not. And if it doesn't, then I'll just do it in person. But yeah, I feel like I got shorted at least $2,000 because the junkyard and in turn the insurance company or whatever, they're going to get money off of that engine because they're going to look at the Carfax and be like, oh, this car had the engine replaced less than 10,000 miles ago. Well, let's go ahead and do a quick search on how much a Hyundai Veloster 4-cylinder 1.6 liter, engine is. And okay, it's about 4,000 to 4,500, depending on if it's used or new. Maybe 3,500 if you can find a really good deal on one. So, they're gonna sell it for like $3,500 or something like that, and I'm not gonna see any of that like extra money off of the engine or whatever, but they are, and so it just kind of sucks because it is what it is. But like in turn, I got really lucky with that engine. I didn't have to pay for it out of my own pocket. It was covered under the warranty because there's a recall on the engines of Hyundai Velosters anyway, and I was under 100,000 miles, and it's a lot of factors that kind of played into it to where it all worked out in my favor. Then I didn't have to pay for it, and so in one way, it's not like they really owe me money, and so I can kind of see why the insurance company would also just be like, well, dude, you didn't pay for it anyway, so what do you care? But it's just like, if I were to look up the exact specs of my car and the condition that it was in, especially with an engine like that, like even if I were to just cut the miles down, even if I were to put in the exact miles of my car as it was, I would be spending like $4,000 more than what they gave me in return for my car in value. So I'm just a little ticked off with State Farm. I feel like they put me through way more hoops than what was needed. I had so many issues with the app and all that stuff that I explained before to you guys, if any of you remember, about how like, oh, the images were blurry and I had to go through the hassle of going to my parents' house to use a printer scanner to upload the images that way, so that they could, that worked, so that they could get a clear image of everything. And I went through all that hassle to give them clear images, and nothing. Still got nothing out of it. and so that just kind of sucks. So I will have to. I still will get to pay my credit card off and pay the car that I just bought off, but I feel like I was due more. I mean, what do you guys think? Does anybody feel like I'm just being like, I don't know, uh, I don't know what the word is to describe this in like a negative way. Am I just being entitled to like? Do I feel like, yeah? Am I just being like super entitled or whatever in saying that they should pay me more, or because I mean, I just feel like these insurance companies freaking screw you over. But I mean, on the other hand, though, when I look at it from a different angle, uh, they had to pay out a whole bunch of people for this hail damage. And I've only been paying the insurance on my previous car for roughly like 4 years. And when I calculated out how much I had been paying over like each month over those 4 years, I only put in half of the value of what they ended up paying me back for the car in insurance. So it's not like they made money off of me personally on that car. In turn, they actually lost money on me on that car. But I don't know. I just kind of feel like the whole thing was just kind of ridiculous, and I might be switching insurance companies. Because nobody has anything to say. Whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much out. That's everything I bought so much. Oh, I bought myself another bumper, couple bumper stickers. I had to order myself some more Glassbox Hero stickers to go on my car and stuff. And I got another uh, stick shift bumper sticker. The dealership and the mechanic and stuff and the locksmith all kind of gave me compliments or whatever about the stickers. Like I like how you put them on and your placement and stuff, because I put the one that says, endangered species with the little stick shift symbol right on my driver's side door above the handle, so that if you're grabbing the handle of the car, you can see that that's a manual car. So that'll hopefully deter some people from stealing it. And so I ordered another one it's the exact same thing, that like the vinyl outline. Let me just go ahead and show what you guys what I got, because it should be in my history. Uh, yeah. So I got this one here. I got it in red, just like the other one that I got. This one says equipped with anti-theft device, which I think is hilarious. But, well, this is not the exact one I got. I got one that was marked. There we go. Make sure I'm sharing the right one here. This is the one that I got. Because I have a 6-speed with the reverse on the inside. Um, but I got it in red to match my other one that I got that said endangered species, and I'm gonna put that one on the passenger side so that anybody that's trying to steal my car from the passenger side can also see right there that it's a manual car. Because I am going to get the windows tinted next, and after I do that, I really don't want, I mean, I don't want somebody to steal my car, of course, but I feel like it's almost worse if they do what they already did. Like, if I was trying to buy this car from the dealership and they would have just stolen the car, like, yeah, that sucks. But I would have got my deposit back and I would have ended up, buying another car from somebody else. Or maybe even from that same place, but just a different car. But, like, with the whole situation of them trying to steal it and just being unsuccessful, and, like, it put me through a whole nother hassle, and it put the friggin' dealer through a whole nother hassle too, because he had to pay out of his pocket to get a new passenger side window and clean up the glass and fix the dashboard and pay for these new ignitions, and he had to order like 8 or 9 different ignitions because everywhere he was ordering from kept sending him ones for push start when it's like, I have a freaking key. And he kept saying, I need one with the key. And they're like, okay. And so they send him the push start with the key. It's like, the key's in the thing. And it's like, yes, but we need one that the ignition starts with the key. Oh, man. Empire of Dirt Aquatics. What's up, Jeff Kane? I like it. I like it. Empire of Dirt. I also like how when people are giving their channels like an actual name, that they're still like putting their name in parentheses for a while so that we get used to it. That's really nice. I think I'm probably one of the only people in like the whole like FishTube community that was able to just change my name and have people like know it was me. Like, because my name was developed over time and it became like Glassbox Hero like after I had made the song, and the song got popular within the fish community. And so everybody that knew me as Danny Weshy, like when I changed to Glassbox Hero and just started typing, and people were like, whoa, Danny, love the name change. It was great. I didn't have to put my name in there. But Empire of Dirt Aquatics, I wouldn't have been able to just pull that out of nowhere. And so, yeah, great. I don't know most people's real names. I don't know most people's real names either. And the thing is, I'm terrible with names. And so I will even know some people's names and then forget it. Like, I know the Nano Aquarium guy's name. I know he's told me it before. I know I've heard it. I cannot remember what it is right now. I know Ian Atkins Nature Aquariums. And so does Nano. Everybody knows Ian's name. But some of it is because, sometimes people just refer to people by their real name versus their channel name a lot. And I like it that way. It's kind of more personable. But, it doesn't highlight you in chat when you're doing that the same way as like tagging somebody where it shows a big like orange bar over your name to make sure that you see it. And if you tell me your channel name at a show, I have no clue also. Yeah. Yeah. Unless they're like a really big channel or something like that. Or there's certain people that I definitely interact with more and that I've met at a couple different fish events and things like that. Like Richard Reynolds, like which now he goes by oh my gosh, it's that thing. It's that now I know his real name, and he changed his channel recently, and I cannot remember what it is. I guarantee you, if he said something in chat, I would know it's him. But right now, I cannot remember for the life of me what he changed his channel name to. But Richard Reynolds, I met him at the ACA, and then at the Triple Crown, and then he was at the Keystone Clash. So he gets around. And Jay, that's what it is. Jay. I think you're a little delayed there, Nano, so you might want to skip, catch yourself up. I just plan on everyone not knowing me at conventions and everything. I'm surprised. Dude, yeah. That's the big thing is, when you just walk around and, like, you just have somebody come up to you like, oh, I know. Okay. That's exactly how I met Richard Reynolds at, I think that was at the ACA. We were in like the elevator, and I was going up to buy something from somebody's hotel room because there's people selling like catfish and stuff out of their hotel room, and I was gonna get some Synodontis lucipinis, and friggin' all of a sudden he's just next to me, and he's like, "Hi, Danny Weshy." I'm like, "Hi." And he was like, Richard Reynolds. I'm like, oh my God. Because that's always the best. Because, I mean, like, there's some people, and more people are starting to stream now, which I think is really cool. But when I first started coming around into the Fish Fam and different fish events and stuff, there was a whole lot more people that were just chatting and were not live streaming themselves, didn't have what they would call like an actual channel, didn't really produce any sort of content or anything like that. They were just there to watch the live streams and you just be part of them and chat and stuff like that. And that's how I first started too, was just participating in chat. And those are always the most fun people to find, is the people that don't have a channel. You have no idea what they look like, and you have no idea who they are, but they know who you are, and they come up to you and they talk to you, and it kind of gives you that little feeling of like, I'm a celebrity. I meet a lot of folks, and some dude come up to me that know me, but I have no idea who they are. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, the no, like they don't really know you. But I do feel like I open up a lot on these live streams and stuff and just talk about a lot of different things. I'm like exactly the same person in real life that I am on these live streams. I just sit here and just have a conversation with you guys about different things that's going on. And yeah, the show's called Fish and Friends, and I haven't really talked a whole lot about fish a whole lot over the last several live streams. I bring them up here and there, you know. I talk about a lot of different stuff. My fish all voted. No YouTube channel. Well, there you go, James. I don't talk to no one, so no one ever knows I have been places. Yeah. He's been places. Not Jay's not just going places. Jay's been places. Danny, have you ever been ID'd in the wild, like someone recognized you from YouTube, but not at a fish event? For me, that's weird a little. Yes. And it was actually really early on in my channel. The first person was Gina. And now look at what Gina's blossomed into. First, she was just a random person that would watch my live streams and Fishy Business live streams and stuff and just never chat, never say anything. And then all of a sudden, like, friggin', I decided with Fishy Business stuff that we were going to have her be like one of our guests on our St. Louis show that we were doing, which Fishy Biz ended up dropping out on that show, and that's how it turned into Fish and Friends with Danny and Gina. I mean, it's just amazing how all this stuff happened. But yeah, Gina was like the first person to just kind of like, I went to Petco and was trying to buy some stuff, and she's like, "Oh, I know who you are." I'm like, "What?" And it kind of happened at a couple different pet stores. Like, people would recognize me and stuff like that. But it only happened like once or twice, aside from Gina. So maybe up to 3 times total. But yeah, at a fish event, that's happened a few times, and that's just always fun. That's just always fun. I'd love to meet the people that know who I am, but I don't know who you are. And you have to come up to me and be like, "Hi, Danny, it's Richard Reynolds," or whatever, or whatever else, whoever you are. Like, I love that. Because, I mean, I'm very introverted. I am. Sometimes, like right now, I'm pretty talkative and I'm doing fairly well to where I might seem like I'm more extroverted. And I go and I do karaoke and stuff too. And I can kind of put on that sort of extroverted sort of mentality and attitude at different points. But I am very much an introverted person. I do like to spend most of my time on my own, just being able to recharge by just sitting in a room and, I don't know, playing a video game, watching a movie. Definitely not reading a book, because I ain't reading no books. Just got hung me up in a few. Many fish folks are introverts. Exactly. I highly doubt there's a lot of people that are highly extroverted that are spending a lot of time in their house with their fish tanks. Those highly extroverted people, if they have a fish tank, they are crazy businessmen or whatever that have a fancy fish tank that they pay somebody to do like weekly maintenance on and all that stuff. Danny, you should come visit us at Petco Fenton. I would like to. It's just kind of a little bit out of the way. And so I can't ever get there during the week. And I'd have to come out there like during, like Saturday or Sunday. And, a lot of those times, my weekends are taken up by doing other things. But I have been wanting to come out there because that is a super Petco, or a Petco Plus, or whatever you guys call it. And I want to see that because I've never seen one of those before. I want to see Petco on steroids. I don't give a flip. I will talk to whoever. And see, that's kind of like I'm an introvert, but I'm not really that shy per se. I'm not gonna go out of my way to go to talk to anybody. I'm perfectly fine just sitting there on my own. I go to a bar and I do karaoke, but honestly, most of the time I'm just sitting there by myself, walking, looking at the TVs and people watching and stuff, drinking my drink. But I'm not like shy if people want to start talking to me. And I'll hold a conversation with people. Uh, sometimes I'm not the best at keeping the conversation going. Uh, it's like, hey, how you doing tonight? Good. How about you? Oh, good. Good. Yeah. Yeah. I hate small talk. And sometimes I wish I could cut right past the bullshit small talk and get straight to the good conversation. But that's not how society works. So, yeah. BF Fenton's just a little out of the way for me. I have to make an intentional trip to even go up that direction. So, though I wasn't too far from there a little while ago because I went out to Baldwin to get plants from White Hot greenhouses like 2 weekends ago or 3 weekends ago, something like that. Oh man, I think that was last weekend that I went up there. Yeah, yeah. It was like last weekend, I think. I like plants. I have been just getting so many plants, getting plans of where I want to plant them, and have been planting some of them. But I want to get this pond finished, and I want to build a fence around my main garden area to keep critters out. And I'll grow some stuff in ground. I'll grow some stuff in pots. But even some of the stuff that's in pots, I'll probably still put some of it in the fenced in area. But that fenced in area, some of it, like one half, I'm going to dedicate to like kind of like my witchy herb garden. I got a whole bunch of seeds still that I need to get out that I've just been kind of sitting on. Gosh, I'm not even 100% sure where it's at. I think it's still on my coffee table out in my living room. So I got a bunch of like witchy seeds, like bee balm and valerian. Well, actually, no, I don't have the valerian, but I had like yarrow seeds and marshmallow and stinging nettle and another type of lavender and sage and different things. But I've also been collecting some different plants that I've found. I actually got a yarrow plant, and I got a purple echinacea, and I got another type of echinacea hybrid that's like has red flowers. It's really nice. And I recently was able to find fleabane growing out in the wild near a customer's house. So I grabbed some of that, and it might have sat uprooted in my yellow truck a little too long before I got it in the ground, and I think I might have ended up kind of snapping it. So it's not fully broken, so I got it with like a stick and like a little clip to help support it and keep it up. And hopefully it's kind of going into the pot well, so that will continue to grow because Fleabane, not only is it pretty, let me go ahead and show it to you guys. Oh, friggin' I hit caps lock. Yeah. Fleabane has these really nice white, sometimes a little purpley, pinkish colored flowers. And Fleabane, also called Fleabane daisies because they do look like little daisies, even though they're not an actual daisy. They grow kind of tall, like that, scraggly looking. There, this is what I saw, and that's kind of what I pulled up. But this is great. As the name says, Fleabane, it helps keep fleas and stuff away. So I want to grow that in an area of my yard to help kind of keep fleas away. And so, yeah, I'm going to have kind of a wild flower, but also like beneficial stuff. I think I also got flaxseed and stuff like that too. I gotta remember all the seeds I got. But what's up, Bunny Viper? But yeah, I got all these different seeds. So like one half is gonna be that sort of stuff that's gonna grow. And once those start growing, they should be like self-propagating, self-seeding, and also a lot of those things are just perennial as well. So they should just keep coming up every year. So I'll have all that stuff beneficially. And, well, no, I'm not going to put that stuff in my garden area. That garden area is going to be dedicated for vegetative growth, like peppers and tomatoes and cucumbers and stuff like that. Because that's what the point of the fence is to keep all the main big bad critters out. Whereas I want to put that other stuff and integrate it into like walkways and stuff like that to have a nice like garden background. Like the whole backyard just be a huge garden of all different stuff. Gina has arrived.
Here, I am.
And there we go. Microphone is working good now.
Nice. I'm here. Sorry I'm late.
Oh, it's okay. That's the price of being assistant manager. You got to cover when things happen.
Yep.
Yep. But yeah, I also took a trip with my dad to one of my great uncle's houses, and it's kind of fun talking about some of the amazing things that my grandfather and his brothers did, because they were amazing, hardworking men, and they all like built their own houses and like worked together and helped each other build their houses and stuff. But like one of them, we were kind of thinking about, maybe I might be able to like potentially move into this house. I'm not sure if I want to, but it would be an idea. But after, we were walking through their backyard and stuff today, kind of checking through it. And so I was looking at that and how it was set up as his like little homestead that he had been working on for, his entire life. He lived there his whole life. And, friggin' had all these different flower and native plant gardens and all this other stuff, and he had a huge pond that had like this whole stream of like a concrete poured pond and everything. And I don't want to do a concrete poured pond. I just feel like it just doesn't look right. I want it to look more natural, and so that's why I got all these towels. I got a pond liner, and I'm probably going to go buy a second pond liner as well, and then cover everything with rocks and all that. And I'm going to try to like dig up the grass a little bit to like pull it up to have it like go over the liner to like completely cover up the liner to where you can't even tell that there's a liner there and it just looks like a completely natural pond in the ground. That's the goal. We'll see if I can make it happen.
Yeah.
Because either I might just get like too impatient and just like want to finish the pond faster versus taking the time to do some of the details. But I'm hoping that I don't feel like I have to be rushed with anything and that I can keep myself focused enough to do it right and be like really happy with the overall product.
Yeah.
You get marginals to grow over like that and forget-me-nots and creepy Jenny. I already have some of those different ones. I do have Creeping Jenny and what I gotta remember what Forget-Me-Not looks like. I think I might have some Forget-Me-Not too. No, I don't have Forget-Me-Nots. Those are nice. There's this other one that I have that, whoops, I almost clicked the wrong. I actually did click the wrong X and I almost closed out this
Streamyard.
page.
Uh-oh.
Luckily, it's like, are you sure you want to leave this site? And I was like, oh, cancel.
Nope, sure don't. You got me.
Wrong X. But it's got these like little spiky sort of like leaves on it that almost looks kind of like Rotala, and it grows these little yellow flowers and stuff. I sell ponds, FYI. Yeah, I have some cool stuff.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
I don't think I have any water lilies left. I think all of mine that I had died, and I gave a few to my sister, and so those are working for her. But I still have a whole bunch of cattails left. So where the waterfall is, there's these irises, little miniature purple irises, and I just bought another thing of these Concord. Concord Crush Iris. Yeah, I'm gonna show. There, that's what I got. These are very, very pretty. Look at those flowers. Oh, there we go. Stupid thing. Really, really cool, pretty iris. And it's got very thin, sort of like spiky leaves and stuff. And so I have that. That's going to grow around the waterfall. I'm going to kind of integrate that. And then that is going to go right into where I'm going to have the cattails and stuff. So the stream and the waterfall area is going to cut through the irises and go right into cattails. And so the textures should sort of kind of all blend together and look really nice. And then I'm going to have another section where I'll have some water lilies and, some like Creeping Jenny and stuff to kind of go out and kind of spread out and float over some different areas. And I am going to surround the whole thing, rim it with rocks. So it's going to look really, really nice. I'm super excited to get this all finished. And yes, I do need to just be patient. But I want to get it done too. Like last year, I took off this whole same week, I'm pretty sure. The last week in April, first week of May. And it ended up pouring rain the entire week. And so I was unable to get any of the work done on my pond that I wanted to. And so, like, I had to spend like Saturdays going out there and digging in the pond and all that stuff, and I got everything pretty much all dug out, but I was unable to get the liner, anything with the waterfall done, and all that stuff, just because it was pouring rain and all that, and not going to get out there in the mud. That'd just be awful.
Terrible.
Blue flag iris and black gamecock work well in a pond environment. There's these little miniature dark purple ones that are there right now, and they got like the little bitty spiky leaves. And so the blue one I got is the same sort of very fine, thin, spiky leaves. And so it should blend in really nice and well, but have a different texture of flower. Oh my goodness.
I think we have a lot of lurkers. I don't think people have noticed yet. We have a lot of people who watch the stream, or who listen to the stream and not watch the stream.
Miko.
Miko. Is it a Miko? Ugh.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that do just listen to the stream versus
Y'all are missing a puppy.
An adorable puppy.
He's the cutest. He's the cutest little guy. With these cheeks. With these cheeks.
But there's a lot of different. Oh wait, you said I saw pond plants. I totally missed the plants when I saw that line the first time. I sell ponds, FYI. So I totally missed the word plants. That's cool. There are a couple places around, like where I went today, the Henkeys or Head Keys or whatever nursery over there in like Olivet area. They had some water lilies. They didn't have a crazy collection of like actual like aquatic water plants, like pond plants. They did have some sort of like boggy sort of plants, like some reeds and stuff like that, which can grow like fully aquatic. But I sell lily cheaper than most. Well, that's cool. I'm not sure how water lilies like that ship, if they ship well and all that. Because I had like, there's this one place that I like to go to, that's actually down in like South City, and they have a really nice selection of like aquatic plants and bog plants that they do lilies and water hyacinth and reeds and lots of different stuff. And I bought a couple lilies from them, and it was really nice to just pull it right out of the water and just put it in a bag and just kind of seal it up and just drive it straight home, and then just drop them right in my pond. And they adapted really nice and quick. Lily ships easy. Well, that's good.
Hey, I have a question.
What's
How
up?
was your Monday thing? I don't know if you ever talked about it.
I did not.
Yeah.
I did not. So, yeah, Monday, I participated in the location finals on this Karaoke Idols karaoke competition. And it is a whole like worldwide competition. It's got people from like Nigeria and all these different countries and stuff involved with it. And you can go to karaokeIdols.com and you can look it up, all the different stuff. But I performed, I decided to go with Dance Macabre by Ghost. I figured it's a good song. It's kind of upbeat. It's got a really nice melody, really nice, simple but elegant and beautiful kind of guitar solo and stuff. And just really sort of like catchy melody. And it ended up working out really good for me because I made it through and I'm going to the state finals. So, yeah. Going to the state finals.
Very nice.
Which is
very good.
And Brewskis, which I'm not 100% sure where that is. Brewski's Smokehouse in O'Fallon. Okay, well, there we go. That's not too far at all. So that's where the state finals are going to happen. And it might even be like a 2-day event, but it'll happen over the weekend, sometime in August. They haven't given us exact dates yet because, I don't know, I guess some other locations. Everybody's got to get all caught up. So not all the states are on the same page or whatever. Some states are already done with, then they already have their state finalists and stuff completed. Some states haven't done any of their competitions yet, so it's kind of still working. Was that me or was that you?
No, that was me. I'm messing with my my settings on my camera because I always look too white. So, whoopsie,
Yeah.
my bad.
Let me see. KaraokeIdols.com. There we go. So I was able to look at the way that they judged me. And so let me go ahead and just. So first time I did Holy Diver, that's what got me into the location finals inside. I did that. You can see anyway. So they had the score. When the first song I did, I got a 9 out of I think 14 is the top score. I'm just guessing that because this is the only thing I ever had that's like 14.0 or whatever. So I think 14 is the top score you can get. And so I got like a 9.33 out of 14 on song difficulty and like 8.3 on creativity. But they all kind of said the same sort of thing. Whereas I did a good job, but I basically just stood there and just read the words off the screen. Don't be afraid to own the stage. Try looking at the screen less. Interact with the crowd. So they all said that. So the next time, that's why I kind of wanted to pick something a little bit more upbeat the second time. So I figured, this one I could kind of move around and use the stage a little bit more. And so, same thing on vocal ability, 14. Overall performance, I got half a point less. And then on song difficulty and originality, I got like a point less on each one. But it was enough points to put me through into the state finals. But there was 4 judges with this one. And, they all just kind of said the same thing. Good job. I like Ghost or whatever. They don't really have much as far as any criticism except the first judge. I think he needs to show that a little bit more often, which was the power. And so, yeah, I did kind of, and on one hand, like, it wasn't the world's most complicated song, and there wasn't like a lot of stuff there wasn't really a lot of room for, any sort of improvisation or like any like vocal runs or anything like that to really like sort of, show off my voice in any sort of way. So I kind of played it safe with that one. But I didn't want to, push the boundaries too hard. But I think I might be, I'm trying to debate what I want to do for the state finals. Like, do I want to go full on, like, kind of more of a kind of traditional song that people would find challenging in a different way, and go like Dream On and do that? Or do I want to get more into the power of my voice, like the one guy said, and do something like Down with the Sickness by Disturbed.
Yeah.
It's like they're like polar opposites. They show two very different sides of my voice, but both songs highlight the different sides of my voice in a very good way. And so it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Both of the songs have the potential for risk. But the big thing that I'm worried about, though, is like if I go with Disturbed, like will these judges fully understand the difficulty between like changing your voice between like hard lyrics and kind of going soft and different things like that? Like, I don't know. Will they understand that that song actually is as difficult as it is? Or, I don't know.
I feel like they should, since it's a
Dream On
competition.
just has an incredibly high note, and so everybody's like, that song's really difficult. Honestly, that song is not difficult at all. Most of the song is pretty darn easy in a relatively low range. It's just that one note. And so if you can hit that note, then the song's not difficult at all. But everybody thinks it's difficult. So I don't know. It's hard to read judges that I don't know who they are and anything like that. I may go there and have an idea that I'm going to do one song and actually get there and see the judges and kind of whatever, and might be like, I'm going to do a different song because I pretty much have like up until that day of competition, I believe, to put in my song. So
yeah.
And it's a matter of if the DJ even has the right version of Dream On as well. Because, yeah, I can do the original Aerosmith version, but there's a version by a band called Blacktop Mojo that is on YouTube, and it allows me to use a little bit more of the gruffer power side of my voice as well, because it kind of uses like a little bit heavier guitar tone. The bass is stronger, the drums are a little bit stronger and heavier. So I feel like it allows me to perform that song better than the standard Aerosmith version does. But apparently there's not like an official karaoke version of the Blacktop Mojo version of that song. Apparently there's just like the YouTube video, which I don't know. I guess it's technically illegal to use a YouTube video for karaoke. But I don't quite understand that. Like, it's karaoke and it's YouTube. If you can play the YouTube video on your phone for free, why can't you play the video on your karaoke system and sing with it for free? Like, I don't see what's necessarily wrong with that. But apparently, every other DJ that I've gone to and asked them, like, oh, it's just a YouTube video. I can't play that. That's illegal. And it's just like, the guy that I go to, he's been playing it for years, but okay. I just don't quite get the legality of how stuff works with karaoke and all that. I guess, he's getting paid to do that, so there's a whole different level of what music he can play. And so I'm intentionally not saying what his name is and what his karaoke company is, because I don't want him to get in trouble. But because I mean, this guy, if he can find it, he will get it, and he will like get it for you, and he'll do it quick. Like, I was just kind of joking about it with one of my friends up there, and that what if he could get some Lamb of God or whatever, and just do like some really heavy growling stuff, and so he looked up on some karaoke website, and apparently there was a whole bunch of Lamb of God stuff available. So he's just like texted him that, like, get all the Lamb of God stuff, and within like 2 days he texted him back. He's like, got it. So
yeah,
I request stuff for him all the time. If I look it up and I can't find it in his digital songbook, I just ask him if he can find it, and most of the time he can. And apparently he's got, somebody that can make a legal karaoke version of a song too. So there's a couple songs that he's actually had made for me, which is really, really cool.
that's good.
Yeah.
So I did my nails this week.
You did your nails?
I did a pop-up stream where I kind of cleaned this half of my room and my desk. So it was very nice to walk in and have a nice clean desk. And then after that, I decided to paint my nails, and they're super cute. Look how cute they are. And they are actually holographic. Hold on.
I like
Get my flashlight. Yeah. So don't look too close at this hand. I don't know if it'll show up on camera. No, not really. It's too bright. Anyway, they are holographic. They have like a little rainbow shift to them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this hand I tried to freehand the French tips, and it's not perfect. So this hand I use the stencil, like the little fingertip stencils. But yeah, they're so cute.
But see, I like how. See, I thought you would intentionally like put little waves in there, like it was water French tips.
No, I didn't. I messed up. Oh, yeah, I did that on purpose.
I intentionally put waves in my French tips because I'm a fish keeper.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, we'll go with that. I really wanted to put rhinestones on some of the flower in the middle of some of the flowers, but then I couldn't find all my rhinestones. There was a couple things I couldn't find when I was doing them, so. But what's funny is I could not decide on the base color, like the main color. So I literally rolled a set of dice. Like I made a whole like stat sheet. I'm like, all right, is it going to be solid or is it going to have glitter? Okay, it's going to have glitter. Cool. What brand am I going to do? This brand or this brand? Okay, this brand. And then I rolled for
D20 and
well, it was I have 2 D6s. I actually just ordered a set of dice because of this. I'm like, I feel like I'm going to have to do this more. So let's get some actual like D&D dice. I have a set that I got years ago. I just have no idea where it is.
If you needed dice, you should have told me. I literally have a giant bag full of all these different dice that I found.
Yeah.
And there's so many different things. There's so many ones that you can make your own matching set if you wanted to. You shouldn't just.
Oh, well, it's okay. There's a creator who I follow on TikTok who makes custom dice, and I kind of want to support her. Yeah, so she's got like a bunch of like she calls it adopted dice. So I think they're orders that maybe fell through that she already made, or she was maybe practicing some different combinations. So yeah, I did a 7-piece set and a D20 that I just ordered. And she's like, oh, if you have any special requests, put them in the comments. And I'm like, my favorite color is green. As long as they have green in some kind of way, I will be happy. Whether that be like some kind of green in the dice or just inked in green, I don't care. As long as it has green somewhere.
You know what's really cool is if they had like a dark, like the main body of the dice was like a dark forest green, and the lettering was like a bright like neon green.
Yeah. So that's what she does. She sells sets normally, and this is what her content is. Well, she's also a bartender, so she has dicey dice and then she has drinky drinks. But nice. Yeah. So she will roll dice. She's got a whole stat sheet like already pre-made for each. But yeah, it'll be like how many colors. She'll roll a D4 and it'll be between 1 and 4 colors total. And then she'll roll for, okay, what are the colors? She'll roll for all of them. Does it have glitter? If it's evens, it's no. If it's odds, it's yes. Does it have glow? Will it have an inclusion? And then she'll roll for the glitter, roll for the inclusion, roll for the glow number. And yeah, there's a lot of really cool things. Like you get some of these color combinations, you're like, ooh, how is she going to make that work? And they end up being amazing. It's so cool.
Nice.
Yeah, if you just search like Dicey Dice or Drinky Drinks, it comes up. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so cool. I think she might be on Instagram too. Because I know you're not on TikTok, but yeah. And then she sells off an Etsy store.
Dicey Dice. Oh.
Yeah, Dicey Dice.
Oh.
Has a T-Rex skull over a dice tray. That's how she always opens all of her videos. All of her dice videos, anyway.
Dicey Dice. Our dice. Our dicey tag.
Yeah, she's very much an extrovert. Obviously, most bartenders are extroverts.
Yeah.
But yeah, super, super uppity and all that stuff and good energy. I really like her.
She makes them out of resin. Okay, nice. That's interesting because there's some people out there that are like kind of superstitious or whatever, and they say that you should never use a set of dice that you bought yourself. You know, like you should somebody buy you a set of dice, or like if you find a set of dice, like that's like a really lucky set. So that's why I thought it was really cool when I found like a whole bag of dice. This was when I used to work at like an old book reselling warehouse. And we would find a whole bunch of other junk in these giant cardboard box Gaylords that would come in from Goodwills and whatever else. Anything that they couldn't sell that they found out that they thought was just junk, they'd throw in there along with all the other books that they were supposed to be sending us. And, we'd have people that would sort through it. And one time, for a period of time, I was working as one of the sorters, sorting through all that stuff. And I got so many cool things like DVDs and Blu-rays and a whole bunch of records. Like my whole record set, pretty much, other than a few that I've bought, all came from that place. I got a whole bunch of cool books and stuff too. But yeah, the freaking bag of dice. That was so cool.
Yeah. So with after organizing everything, I showed them on my stream, on my pop-up stream on Thursday, but I have these nail polish shelves, and I finally got Nathan to hang them up for me. So this is only about maybe 2/3 of my nail polish collection. But I'm really happy that at least these fit because these are my glittery ones. Yeah. I still have a whole nother bag of nail polish because apparently they don't fit on those shelves. So most of these are like my solid colored ones.
It's very nicely organized.
Yes. I tried to do rainbow order. It's hard with some of these color shifting ones because it's like they're technically like this one here is really kind of multicolor, but I guess the base is technically like a dark red, so that's why I put it at the end of the reds.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I'm trying to find. I got to go to Home Depot tomorrow and see what sort of stuff that they have. But I'm trying to find a whole different assortment of tulips because there's so many different varieties of tulips out there. All these different colors, all these different textures. Some that have like these like spiky, ruffly textures on their petals and stuff like that. But what I really want to do is make like a garden bed that is like not like the shape of a rainbow, but it has like a rainbow gradient of like red, orange, yellow. Find some sort of greenish blue sort of one, and blue and purple and dark purple. I love those flowers.
Lily of the Valley, mine are in full bloom in my front yard.
Nice.
Yeah, so what's funny is that
they were called. Thank you for telling me Lily of the Valley because I love those little white bells.
So this is actually it's at like this down here is actually the like my railing on my front porch. So I was like trying to get a good picture and it's right at the edge and I was like, dang it, I can't get it. So I literally held my phone upside down, like was taking a photo like this, and then it ended up being a really nice one. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That actually, yeah, that's a really nice picture.
Yes. I was
Is
very
that
proud of it.
background for a while?
Very good for not seeing what I was taking a picture of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just had to share it. I was very excited.
Yeah, I love those lily in the valleys. Because yeah, they come up and they throw up like 3 or 4 leaves at the most. Then they bloom this little stem that has a whole bunch of little white bells on it. And
Very delicate. They're so delicate.
yeah. Hi, Danny, Gina, everyone. Couldn't help hear you speak of 7 things to bring you luck. Here they say 7 different flowers under the pillow night before midsummer day will help you find a spouse.
Oh.
I didn't specifically say 7 things that bring you luck, but that is really interesting. 7 different flowers. I wonder what the flowers are, or is it just the number 7? Like you just collect 7 different varieties, or is it a specific set of 7 different flowers that you have to get?
I could see it being either way, just depending on what varieties are near you.
I think it's fun, all the different little superstitions and things that go on all around the world. I love different cultures.
Me too. It's always fun. What else? Oh yeah, and then so I have these corkboard hexes. Yeah, that's what I bought them initially to display my my enamel pens. So on this bottom one, I have like a couple of Disney pens, and then there's the very front corner right there is a Pac-Man frog. I have other pens, I just can't find them because I didn't have any place to like really keep them and display them. And then the top one, there's actually one right above it. Is gonna have all my Pokemon ones.
Nice.
But I have to find them now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I finally got that up too. That also has been sitting around for years.
Nice.
Very, very exciting.
Tomorrow is the day that I can get to take a big trip to Home Depot and see what they got and get myself all prepared for friggin' Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Because I was saying earlier that I was gonna take this whole next week off, but it's not gonna work out with the amount of hours that I actually had saved up for vacation because of using some extra hours during Christmas last year.
Yeah.
And we're also just a little short staffed right now. In fact, one of my coworkers had his apartment building burned down on him. So that just sucks. And pretty much they lost everything.
Aww.
And the thing is, like, his actual apartment itself, like, didn't have any like actual fire damage, but it had a whole bunch of smoke and water damage that just like took out everything. It was like the fire was above him, but yeah. So yeah, the whole building's like condemned or whatever now, I guess. So I don't know what exactly is going on with him, but
so he says people go and pick 7 of the ones you find in Summer Meadow on the countryside. So just 7 different ones.
Different little wildflowers and stuff.
The night before midsummer. That's cute. Danny, you should try it. See if it works.
No, I ain't worried about it.
Well, then it wouldn't hurt to try it.
Oh my goodness.
What? What happened?
Oh wait. Oh, okay. That's interesting. So I noticed down on the chat next to where it says post a comment, it had a section that said all. So I was like, oh, like all destinations, Glassbox, Hero, and Rumble or whatever. So there's no live chat on Rumble. At least not the same. But that's interesting. So I'm not sure if my chats, is that going to your channel as well? Oh.
Biz is behind. I didn't drop out. You sure did. You've struck a nerve. You've struck a nerve for his teacher side. We're using the words drop out. Biz, you're behind. Well, he's not going to see this, so we're telling him you're behind. I need to put it in chat. He's on your side. Say, you're behind. Catch up. STL for life. Midsummer Day is always on a Friday. How does that? Yeah, you're super behind. Midsummer Day is always on a Friday?
I know. Well, way to ruin the end of my stream here, Biz. You'll catch up. You'll see this in a half hour.
Mm-hmm.
Ruined the end of my stream. It's all your fault. No.
That's funny.
Oh man, that is pretty funny. I know he got busy with different things or whatever.
Aww.
That is.
Aww.
I know you are, dude. FishFam is one of the first fish YouTubers that I met in person. So I'm always here for you sometimes.
Sometimes. Oh, sometimes always be here for you.
No, it took him a while to finally do it, but yeah, he finally made me a mod over on his channel. So
Aw, he does love you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't really have anything else going on. Just working. I helped out a different store yesterday. Came back to my store today. Had a bunch of things, a bunch of paperwork and stuff I had to do.
Okay.
Bunch of paperwork to file. Apparently, my boss, the store manager, doesn't like to file like the POs and stuff after he releases them in the system, so he piles them up on the printer for me. So I had a nice fat pile.
Fine.
We do need to get up and do something until we meet again later, Gators. Good night, Biz.
So, you're not even going to see the end of the stream.
Hi, bye.
What a freaking
Oh, I have not done.
Check out Fishy Biz's live streams on Monday nights. He doesn't always get to them. Sometimes things happen, but almost every Monday night he's there streaming. What is happening to your monster?
Yeah, so I mentioned this on my Thursday pop-up. I was just like, guys, there's a brown spot. It's not crunchy, it's not dried out, it's just getting thin. Tommy, Silver Creek Aquatics popped into my chat. And I asked him, and he said, he asked how often I water it, and I said about once a week. The topsoil is dry, but like you dig in a little bit and it is moist, so it's not overly wet. But he said it probably just needs some sugar, and then he says he puts paprika, so 1 tablespoon of sugar per cup and 1 teaspoon of paprika, and he recommended that. I haven't done it yet because I keep forgetting. But do you have anything to say about it?
I mean, judging by looking at the rest of the plants, where is that leaf as far as where the stem is? Like, is that near the base? Is that closer to the end?
So it kind of forks at the base of that stem, and it is towards right at the fork, like right past the fork.
But it's near. It's very, very close to the base of the plant.
Yeah.
Okay, so it could be some sort of deficiency or whatever. It could just also be an old leaf that is starting to die back. Because that does just eventually happen.
Yeah, I think
stay there for forever.
Yeah,
It could be a little
somebody.
bit of a potassium deficiency or calcium. It could be any sort of deficiency. It could be you're overwatering it. But looking at the fact that no other leaf is showing any sort of mark, my first guess is that leaf is just dying because it's an old leaf.
That's what somebody had said in my chat on Thursday. Is like it happens. Sometimes it just happens.
So when I just looked up Monstera brown spots or whatever, and
I say because there's a new leaf growing right there.
So these sort of marks are typically some sort of like deficiency, something like this. Where
it's not dry and crusty like that.
That's too much light,
Or it's burning it, yeah.
Like too much light is being burned. When you get that yellow,
that one, yeah, that's what it looks like.
That's what it's very much more of, like probably some sort of deficiency, maybe.
Yeah, because it does have some yellow around it.
But see, like this one here, this plant, in general, the plant looks really healthy, but it's got this one leaf down here that's just got this brown spot on it. I don't really think that there's necessarily anything wrong with that. Just maybe this leaf isn't really functioning very well for the plant anymore, to where it's cutting off the nutrients to that leaf and just letting it die.
Yeah.
Anything that's closer to the base, that's kind of what I would think, is that it doesn't see that leaf as beneficial to the plant anymore.
Yeah, I asked Tommy if he thinks I should cut it, and he said probably not. Try the sugar water and see what happens.
Well, in general, once that leaf has gone brown, like that area is not going to recover. The rest of the leaf might kind of recover, but you're just going to have a leaf with like a hole in it.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Apparently, with those types of Monstera, you're supposed to cut off every leaf that's solid anyway. You're only supposed to keep the ones that have the ribbing, forking in it.
Holes in them.
Yep, because once they start going solid, it's going to stay solid, and you're going to lose the holes forever.
Oh, then I need to cut like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leaves off this plant.
Monstera roots grow into anything, even fake backgrounds, silicone terrariums. Beware. That is true. They do have very strong roots, but they won't grow into the wall. But yeah, I got let me see if the camera will kind of show it. This Monstera right over here. Just there we go. You can kind of see there's a big root right here that's just going straight down to the wall. All of the Monstera roots are just nuts like that.
Gotcha.
But Monstera, Pothos, Philodendron, all those aerial roots are very, very strong. And though they might not really penetrate the wall, they will, if you allow them to, they will like grip onto the wall.
Like a textured wall, yeah.
Yeah. Or, even like grip on through a couple of the layers of paint. It just kind of grabs onto it. I've had pothos growing up my wall before, like an actual vine. And, they'll do it outside on like, your siding or your brick house, whatever. You'd see all those vines growing up old houses and stuff, or just houses that people kind of let go. It'll do the same thing indoors too if you allow it to happen.
Man, you know what makes me mad? So Fluorescent gets all butthurt if I let my plants or if I let the vines slightly grow up the side of my house. Yet across the street and down like 5 houses, there's a house where their brick chimney, there's vines going all the way up. Like it took years of growth for that to happen. I'm just like, what? They can have their, well, they probably do get violations for it.
They might, but it's probably also just the location of the growth. So you can't have it grow on your fence because a fence is kind of sometimes considered like neutral. So, your neighbor might find the growth a nuisance. So growing vines all over the fence is labeled as a nuisance, whereas the growing vines up the brick chimney of your house, it might not be considered a nuisance in that aspect. Or it might also just depend on the vines too, because if you have like the English ivy,
Yeah.
that's not necessarily considered a nuisance plant. That's something that people use for landscaping. So that's a landscaping decision. Whereas growing a random vine growing all over your fence, like, oh, I
Oh
hate
no, it's
honey.
on my house. It's not on the fence.
Oh, I thought you said on the fence.
No, on my house.
Yeah.
No, I totally understand a fence.
You just got to let it grow big enough to where it's no longer considered a nuisance and it's considered part of the house.
Lame. I'm still mad about it.
Yeah. They're ridiculous with those dang tickets, though. I owe the city of Florissant still for that.
I almost want to just rip up all my
on and leaving grass all over the place.
I almost want to rip up because I do have like the zoysia grass in my front yard. I almost want to rip it all out and just put
That's
clover.
the best. I love my zoysia grass.
Just want to put clover down, something that doesn't get tall.
Clover is nice, and I've thought about that too. Is maybe the reason I want to do chickens is because I love eggs so much, but I might start raising rabbits as well and do rabbits for meat, because then I can just turn a whole section of my backyard into like clover and sassafras and alfalfa and whatever else, and just take the little rabbit pen and just keep moving them in different sections and just have them keep mowing that section of the lawn, and then supplement them in other ways using the lettuces, the spinaches, the different fruits and vegetables that I grow to help keep them supplemented in all different ways, but they mainly just eat freaking grass. And so, yeah, that'd be great to freaking raise rabbits as well.
My Nathan's uncle started to do that, but then I think his wife, Nathan's aunt, got attached to the rabbits and couldn't bring herself to call them.
Yeah. Well, see, that's why you end up with so many rabbits, and you don't do the actual like butchering or anything yourself. You take them somewhere and they just process it all for you and give you the rabbits back as meat. But I do like rabbit, and I feel like if I was raising them myself and knowing exactly what they were eating as well, and being able to especially supplement them with some nice fragrant herbs and have pre-seasoned meat.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Perhaps Gina's Monstera lacks the nutrients they would normally get from growing in a proper wall.
Just kidding. Yeah. Well, anyway, guys, thanks for joining us on another awesome episode of Fish and Friends. Yeah. Next week, it's gonna be May.
It's gonna be May.
It's gonna be May. I'm not sure what we're gonna do yet, but it's gonna be a Gina birthday special.
It's gonna be my birthday. Well, it'll be the day before my birthday, but yeah.
It'll be the day before, but hey, Gina's birthday special, so you better come and tune in. I wish Gina a big happy birthday and all that stuff.
Let me double check now. Oh, I do close that night.
Games and do some other stuff. We shall see. You close?
Supposedly, I'll see. I'll look at the schedule.
Gotta use some of those assistant managerial powers and switch buddy.
I know. I'm gonna have to look on Monday and see what's going on with that and why I'm closing and figure it out.
It's gonna be May.
It's gonna be May.
Who knows what's gonna happen? I mean, if Gina's gonna be busy the entire time, then we might not be able to play games for like the first hour. But we're gonna do something.
We'll figure it out.
But anyway, guys, thanks for joining us. We will see you next week on another awesome episode of Fish and Friends. And Gina better be here the entire time.
Right. Bye.
Bye. So long. Thanks for the fish.